Yeah, welcome again to What's Broken. This morning I picked up a self-driven, self-propelled, I think it's a 6-horse Tecumseh lawnmower for my brother, just out of the local buy and sell Kijiji thing. It starts up and runs, but it needs a little bit of love. Initially the primer bulb might need to be changed. It's feeling a little old. He did put a new air filter on it and sharpen the blade, and it fires up, but it was running, a little bit wonky. So I'm just going to give it a bit of a going over before taking it out to my brother's. Give it a couple of primes. So yeah, it starts and runs, but just sounds a little rough. I'm not going to do any more to it than I need to, but I am going to check it over. So I'll pull a few of the, the cover off. I want to check out the belt drive, and going to take the backyard pressure washer and give it a bit of a cleanup. So I'll get some of the parts off and then bring you back. That hose doesn't feel too bad. The gas line's still pretty pliable. Just going to put a little plastic over the carb. He did say the gas was pretty yellow, so might have to check. Maybe it's old. I think he picked it up off a neighbor and just flipped it, which is fine. It doesn't smell terrible. There's a little hole here where the exhaust or muffler burnt a hole through this plastic cover. Looks like it's been there a while. The belt looks to be in good shape, just a little dusty. So yeah, I'm going to fire up the pressure washer, sort of get rid of some of the debris. Maybe pop the bowl off the carb and see what that looks like. Change out the gas. Just the usual stuff.
it over and see what the bottom looks like. Yeah, not bad.
Probably going to bounce around a little bit on this. I noticed the pull cord works, but it's, you know, it's a little slow or catches going in, so I want to pop it off, take the cover off, just have a general look at things. Just the old check over. There should be one more, but I think it's missing. I'll maybe put a little bit of silicone spray just to loosen that up. There weren't any noticeable oil leaks anywhere, so I don't think there's any issues with any seals. Just a couple of tabs to get past when the gas tank lifts out. Like these older motors, they're all metal and they're easy to take apart. I would pop the plug out and see what condition that's in. It's a little carboned, but doesn't look terrible. So this motor stop or brake that's on these with the lever up top, when you pull it and release it, it's a little gummy. So I'll probably lubricate that from the top end. Just try to get some silicone or something through it just to loosen it up a bit, and then probably spray this up with a lubricant. So I think before I make a mess, I'm just going to get the gas out of this tank. Look clean enough. So I'll probably just dump it into my truck. Looks like the nut or the bolt on the bowl is a 1/2 inch or maybe a 13 mil. to get a rag under that, soak up the gas. Pretty clean. I don't know if you can see it right in the middle. There's a couple of water droplets and maybe a little bit of dirt. But other than that, spotless. So I'll put that back together and put some premium in it and see how it fires up after I do a couple other things. I took the tank off and put some fresh gas in and rinsed it out just in case there was any debris. I'm not sure if you're able to see that light, but what it has inside here, and again I don't know if this is going to show up at all, but there's like a rectangular screen. Looks like it's glued or epoxied in place over the outlet, so there is a filter of sorts within this fuel system, which is good. So to lubricate this cable, just get rid of these two zip ties. Okay, so that just turned and pulled out. Looks like there's a piece broken out of it, hence the zip ties. Come down around to the other end. There's a little clip there. It should just be a matter of squeezing those two tabs. I got the cable out. So to lubricate this, I'm going to use some of this WD-40 bike chain lubricant. I think it's sort of designed to not pick up a whole lot of dust. So it should work well for something of this nature. I'm going to do that a few times till I see the lubricant coming out the bottom, then we'll put it back into place. I'm actually going to lube it more from the bottom because the opening seems to be a little bigger, so I can put drops in there and let it soak in or run down the cable. Well, that should be good for the cable. Hook it back in. Whoops. Slide it through the holder first. Yeah, this little coupler has a part of it broken out, so I'll just put a couple zip straps back on to help hold it. Yeah, I think I'll stick a third one on up here just for good measure. And it looks like it has some sort of little plastic clip here. Just holds it in place. I'll throw a little bit of lube down there just to be on the safe side. Again, can't hurt, might help. And this one pops in. There, I'll see if that feels any better. Well, that's good old plastic fatigue for you. When I pulled on it, it broke the rest of this out. So, I'm going to have to get a little bit creative. Let me do some thinking and I'll bring you back. Okay, I think I came up with a workaround for this. Let's see if I can get the camera on this. This sits on here that way. And I found a washer, a nice heavy washer, that fits inside. And there's about a half a shoulder left here. And the washer will fit over this end, but it won't quite go down. It's tight. Come on, I just had it. But it won't quite fit over this end assembly. And this has a shoulder here. So I'm going to take the Dremel and knock these two wings off and maybe trim it up a bit so the washer will sit down to here, and then I'll mix up a little epoxy and set this in that bracket. A little unorthodox, but he's just using this at his lake property down in Idaho, so he probably won't cut a whole bunch of grass with it. And if he does have to, he can buy a new bracket, a new cable, and rock and roll. So that got rid of those two little tabs. And I'm just going to take a minute and work the end of this a little bit so that this washer will slide over. Then I'll bring you back and show you the end result. Okay, a little bit of trimming and skimming later. Whoops, got this backwards. And that sits in there nicely. It'll hold it from sliding forward. And if I get a little bit of epoxy on there, it should work really good. Just pop the bolt back in, nut and bolt, and give it a try. Whoop. Yeah, I think that'll work just fine. One of the other things I just had a look at was the oil. It's pretty dirty. So I figure while I got the gas and everything off and out of it, it'd be a good time to tip it over and drain it. Yeah, that's pretty black and thick. We'll put some nice fresh, what do I got here? Castrol GTX 530 high mileage, synthetic. That should do the trick. I'll let that run out and then fill her back up again. Yeah, and it's black and dirty, but I don't really see a metallic sheen to it. Maybe a little color, but that could be gas, or doesn't really look like metal. And there could have been some debris left in this pan as well. Not sure how much these take, probably less than a liter. Let that run down. Yeah, I think it needs a little more. So that's to the add mark if I just dip it. If I screw it in, it's a little bit above. Well, that's good for now. I'll fire it up when I'm ready and run it a bit and then check it. Well, while you were away, I found not an exact match of green, but it's green. So I scraped up the loose paint and sort of protected it a little bit. I'll start putting the tins back on. And last but not least is the recoil. It does take these little pointed sort of machine screws. It was a short one, but I found that a green ground screw out of electrical box is the exact same thread. And this should just pop back into place. Yep. And I got 2 screws left for this shroud or housing. Perfect. I'll dump some gas in it and we'll see if it'll start. Give it some of the good stuff that's left over from my boat. Whoop. That should be enough of a drink. Well, no spare parts left over, so that's a good sign. I cleaned up the spark plug, put it back. Pop the air filter and cover back on. It's in place. Give it about 10 squirts. I'll leave it a minute for the gas to fill up that carburetor bowl and then we'll try it again. Okay, the bowl should be full by now, so we'll give it a try. Yeah, I'd say all in all it's going to be able to cut grass. So with that, I am going to mix up a little epoxy for this cable end, but other than that I think it's good to go. So if you've watched any of my other videos that I put out, you You might come to the conclusion that I kind of like playing with JB Weld. It works for so many little fix-its. So I'm keeping this away from the cable and the sheath where the cable goes in. I'm just gooping up the washer a little bit. I had pulled it down and out. Now I'm pushing it back up in. Give you a bit of a top view of it. So that'll hold it in place. I'll let that set for 24. Keep the cable out of the way. Maybe get a little around the back side. And if it has to be replaced, he'll have to buy a new cable and a new, I don't know what you call it, a new plastic piece. But I suspect this little fix should last a couple of years anyway. So just here to drop the old lawnmower off at my brother's place. But I checked the other wheel, and it's not terrible. But I think this one, the gears are fairly stripped out. So it's a pretty simple affair. You just loosen off take the nut off, and off comes the wheel. Yeah, these ones are worn down a fair bit, so we'll probably have to replace them. Might check on getting these new wheels in town, or maybe just order them from good old Amazon. Yeah, good. Next, I think I'll change I did pick up a new primer bulb, so we'll pop that off and put a new one on. So the new one comes with this little sort of spring catch washer. I gotta see if I can figure out how to get the old one out. Yeah, same thing. So this one doesn't have any holes in it, but it is showing a little bit of fatigue. Oh no, I lied. Yeah, the top of the buttons popped out. So just clean out the inside, set the new one in. And a 3/4 inch deep socket. This one might be a little wide, might help to seat it. I think I'll take a screwdriver and and using the proper hammer tool. Just give it a quick test here, make sure it starts. Okay, I'd say that's a winner. Might end up changing those two front drive wheels, but for now I think it's good to go. So thanks for hanging out, and we'll maybe see you on the next one. Bye for now.